Alright, on today's episode, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder were coming off a year where they went 64-18 in 2024-25, and as we all know, they ended up winning the NBA championship in 7 games versus the Indiana Pacers. In the offseason, the Thunder got busy on making sure they locked down their core. They extended Shea, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and the other Jalen Williams, as well as re-signing AJ Mitchell. They drafted Thomas Sorber with the 18th pick and Brooks Barnhizer with the 44th pick. As for the losses, the only loss was trading away Dylan Jones. The Thunder essentially returned their entire roster from the 2025 championship run and locked down their big three on extensions. The team was going to see Nikola Topic make his debut in the lineup, and a repeat title run was almost a lock. After 25 games, the Thunder were sitting at 24-1. Their one loss came to the Portland Trail Blazers earlier in the season, tying the Golden State Warriors with the best 25-game start in NBA history and looking like a threat to beat their 73-9 record. Shea started the year looking like a lock to defend his MVP title with the way he was playing, showing off tremendous efficiency and consistency. He even ended up breaking the 20-point game streak that was previously held by Wilt Chamberlain. As for his all-star teammate Jalen Williams, he missed the first 19 games while recovering from his wrist surgery, making his return on November 28th. There was a little bit of rust that he had to shake off, but with the emergence of some of his young teammates, it wasn't anything that was causing any major issues. He was still providing similar impact that he had this season before. Chet Holmgren came out and was taking advantage of the increased shot diet he was presented with, while also giving the team the same rim protection and defensive pressure he always has. But the biggest development of the start of the season for the Thunder was the jump from AJ Mitchell. He was looking like the leading MIP candidate for a good chunk of the season, coming off the bench and scoring, playmaking, and defending at an elite level. He was kind of hidden away on this deep Thunder roster last season, but was given some opportunity in the playoffs and showcased some flashes of his skill set. He is now looking like the best value player in the league, as he's set to make less than $3 million next year and has a team option for the following year, a massive bright spot for this team. As for the rest of the role players, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, and Isaiah Hartenstein, Dort and Cason Wallace established themselves as two of the most tenacious guard defenders on this roster, but Cason was providing way more offensively, giving him a little bit more opportunity as the season was going on. Alex Caruso is continuing to solidify himself as one of the best role players the league had ever seen. Wiggins and Joe gave the Thunder everything they were asked of, 3-and-D presence on the wing, providing scoring whenever they needed, very consistent production from them all season. And lastly, we have Isaiah Hartenstein. He played in the first 19 games and gave the same dynamic big man presence as he did on their run last season. But after 19 games, he missed a bunch of time and was then in and out of the lineup for the remainder of the year. The Thunder came into the deadline with a record of 40-12, comfortably atop the Western Conference, but fell short of the wins record as they hit a bit of a rocky stretch in December. At the deadline, they came out of nowhere and used some of their draft capital to acquire Jared McCain, and rescued him from Philadelphia. They traded away 1 first and 3 second-round picks to acquire him, a major splash for them bringing in a player on a rookie-scale contract that was almost guaranteed to contribute. They also sent away Ousmane Dieng and a second-round pick to the Hornets for Mason Plumlee, who eventually got waived. Also in February, we saw the debut of Nikola Topic, a great moment for a guy that had been having a rough go in his young career. Honestly, a great sight to see. When he came in and got his first bucket, it was a super big moment for him. A really cool thing to see, and I hope he's able to stick around on this roster. He's definitely a promising player, and that's the reason he went lottery 2 years ago. The injury bug wasn't nice to the Thunder in the second half of the year. We saw Shea miss 10 games, J-Dub went down mid-January and only played 9 games for the rest of the year, and AJ Mitchell missed about 20 games. This is on top of the fact that I mentioned earlier about Isaiah Hartenstein being in and out of the lineup for the rest of the season. During the second half of all these injuries to key players, we saw Jalen Williams, the other one, and Jared McCain come in with a next man up mentality and provide serious help to this team, helping them stay afloat and remain dominant. The Thunder close out the year with a record of 64-18, go to first in the West as they head into the playoffs. The first 3 rounds were not anything to note for this team, as they steamrolled past the Suns and the Lakers, looking absolutely dominant and as close to a lock as possible on repeating as champions. It wasn't until the conference finals that we saw this Thunder team really get tested. They ended up facing the Spurs, who had their number all season, beating them 3 times and another time in the NBA Cup semifinals. The series went to 7 games and was back and forth the entire time. It was also in the series where we started to see the flaws of Chet Holmgren really start to show. But who knows, this could have just been a case of the Wemby impact. The Thunder ended up losing in Game 7, ending their season there and ending their run to repeat as champions. As we look ahead in the offseason for this team, the Thunder are bringing back a contender. After winning 64 games and reaching Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, Oklahoma City returns virtually an entire roster and adds 2 first-round picks, including a lottery selection from the Clippers. The draft is definitely this front office's top priority. With 2 picks in the top 17 and a history of aggressive draft night maneuvering, expect the Thunder to explore trades, move up, or convert picks into future assets. The Thunder have picked 12 and 17 in a draft that is looking to be incredibly deep. At pick 12, they'll be looking at one of Ade Mara or Yaxel Lendenborg, 2 players that are fresh off a national championship and will provide immediate impact at their respective positions. Yaxel stands at 6'9" and is very versatile in all aspects of the game. A bit older, but will provide the Thunder with a do-it-all type of forward that has shown off athleticism and IQ, while also an ability to stretch the floor, get to the hoop, and be a primary ball handler. His teammate Ade Mara can be an option to replace Isaiah Hartenstein at the 5 with his rim protection and touch around the rim. An incredible prospect that would slide into the lineup with ease. At pick 17, I honestly think the Thunder should look to move off of it, and it has sounded like they're also having that same thought process. The Thunder have a lot of decisions to make regarding their cap table and are very expected to make moves around the draft. I think pick 17 will definitely be involved in one of these moves to consolidate their draft capital, clear up a heavily crowded roster, and avoid salary cap constraints. The biggest storyline for this team though is financial, not basketball. With rookie max extensions for Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams kicking in, OKC projects to be roughly $40 million over the second apron and could face a record-setting payroll and tax bill, making their ability to hit on draft picks that much more important. But unlike any other contenders, OKC has some flexibility. The Thunder own one of the largest collections of draft assets in the league, giving them a steady pipeline of inexpensive young talent to offset rising costs. So I just want to clear up, their flexibility is not financially, as I just mentioned, with them estimated to be roughly $40 million over the second apron. It's more so related to the draft capital and their ability to bring in young players on rookie scale contracts to benefit the team. A roster crunch is absolutely coming. If OKC keeps both their 2026 first round picks, which I don't think they will likely need to move off of at least 2 current players that stay within these roster limits. The names that have been brought up are guys like Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, and Aaron Wiggins. But as we approach decisions around the current roster, key team options are approaching. The Thunder must decide whether to exercise options on Lou Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Kenrich Williams, all of whom have become important contributors and are extension eligible. Isaiah Hartenstein has been a massive addition. Since rising in 2024, Hartenstein has helped transform the frontcourt, and OKC has posted dominant winning percentages whenever he plays. But the team has pieces to mitigate this departure if they choose not to exercise his team option. He will absolutely get looks in the open market, and with the team's current financial standing, it may be in their best interest to let him walk this offseason. They have Thomas Sorber slated to return next season, and an opportunity to bring in a big man in the draft. And with the team's track record of hitting on picks, they might not have to worry about losing Hartenstein. Next up, we have Lou Dort, who remains essential to the team's identity, but seems like the odd man out. One of the league's premier perimeter defenders, Dort continues to anchor OKC's elite defense. But as the season went on, we saw players like AJ Mitchell and Cason Wallace prove to be more valuable than Dort in games. There were talks of him being moved at the deadline, but nothing really materialized. The Thunder now have a chance to move off him but not exercising his team option. This is the route I think they should go in. It will help their overall cap table and not be a major hit on the team's success going forward. I think we see Lou Dort on a different team next season. Now for extensions. Cason Wallace is next in line for a payday. Wallace has developed into elite defender, earned all defensive honors, and is eligible for a rookie extension that could become another major financial commitment. I think the Thunder would be stupid to not try and get this taken care of and make it a priority in the offseason, especially with the way he impacts the game and plays with the edge the Thunder want all of their players to play with. We saw him take major strides this year, not just as a defender, but also as an offensive player, shooting and playmaking. He is a perfect role player to complement their stars. But most importantly, development of their young players remains critical. Continued growth from players such as Nikola Topic and Thomas Sorber could help OKC maintain championship level depth while managing future salary concerns. Topic has had a very unfortunate start to his career, but provides backup point guard depth, and although Sorber missed the entirety of the season with a torn ACL, he showed real promise while at Georgetown and could be a replacement for Isaiah Hartenstein if the team chooses to go down that path. But to sum it all up, the Thunder remain one of the NBA's best positioned contenders, but with expensive extensions kicking in and a roster crunch approaching, their offseason will focus on balancing championship aspirations with the long-term financial realities of a second apron roster. Luckily for them, they have the opportunity to bring in more rookie scale contracts to provide depth, replacing some of their current depth pieces that are due for paydays.